Hey guys, welcome back to Resistance Chicks. We're your hosts, Leah and Michelle. Today is the 27th of July. It is Friday. It's our weekly roundup, which is a good thing because we have a lot to bring you. We are going to try at the end of the show, if you stick around to the very end, we actually have a mail call, but you're going to want to stick around to the end of the show because you ain't going to want to miss a single thing that we have to bring you. One of those things that I'm actually kind of excited about is the Q phenomenon, okay? I haven't always been convinced, per se, very skeptical. You'll note that we don't talk about it on the show. Now, all of a sudden, the mainstream media is losing their minds. It's blowing up, real deal. So we are going to break down QAnon for you guys. And I think that that's a pretty big deal for Resistance Chicks to do because we have, deliberately not covered this leading up to it. I mean, we hint here and there about Q, but I think today is kind of exciting. What are we going to start out with, though, today?
This girl's name is Allie Stuckey. Allie Beth Stuckey, she's known as Allie, from CRTV. If you don't know, CRTV is like a conservative, alternative television network. Louder Crowder is on there. Gavin McGinnis is on there. Michelle Malkin's on there, and Allie has a show on there, and she's quite bubbly and energetic and pleasant to watch. But I didn't know she was quite so pithy and hilarious. If you did not see the new socialist heroine Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
I actually was going to do a whole article on her the other day on our Resistance Chicks website. Didn't get a chance to because I believe that she is one of the left's 2024 presidential hopefuls. Like, I'm not even kidding. I know she's crazy, and I know you think that this is coming out of left field, but I really do think because she's young and because she's pretty, she's dumber than a box of rocks, by the way. She's not really intelligent. I think that they may be trying to groom her. Unfortunately, I think fortunately, I think she's not groomable. She really is. Dumb. She really is. But I was going to write an article about her, and then I haven't had a chance. And then all of a sudden, Allie does an interview with her, and I thought, this is really interesting because she's going around putting herself out there.
She does not do an interview with Allie. This is satire. Allie put this together.
You're kidding.
No.
Oh, really? I was hoping that it was real.
No.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Because I saw it up on Resistance Chicks, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't... No, I didn't watch it.
Okay,
I don't have time to watch everything we post.
Once you watch it, you'll know it's satire. The comments on my Resistance Chicks are absolutely astonishingly
now it all makes
ridiculous.
Sense.
All the comments?
Yes.
And I had to say, it's satire, people. It's funny. It's comedy.
Oh, man. I was actually... Here's the thing. I was going to give this girl, Alexandria Cortez, what is it? How do you spell her? Ocasio? I was going to give her the benefit of the doubt. I thought, I cannot believe that she actually sat down with Allie and had a conversation. I've been looking forward to watching this, and now you're telling me it's satire, and I'm kind of disappointed.
No, it's
oh my gosh. Okay, this is better than I thought, actually. No volume.
So, but actually, she dressed like the woman in the interview. So, like, her legs look like her legs. That's what makes it look so real.
Okay. And but other people that were watching this
thought it was her.
Thought it was her.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Do you have any experience that qualifies you for this job? I was growing up during the Clinton era. And then basically when I was in middle school, 9/11 happened.
This is so great.
Do you have any knowledge whatsoever about how our political system works? Does that make you a little bit nervous? Put socialism into your own words. Unprecedented concentration of wealth at the very tippy top of the 1%. Wow, I'm kind of surprised to hear you admit that. It sounds like what's going on in socialist Venezuela. Mm-hmm. What do you think about what's going on in Venezuela? Just an increasing crisis of humanitarian condition. And to me, it would just be completely unacceptable if that happened on our shores.
Well, couldn't that happen here if we adopted socialism?
It's hard to say what direction that takes. I am not the expert on geopolitics.
Didn't you major in international relations in college?
Middle Eastern politics is not exactly what's at my kitchen table every night.
Venezuela is not in the Middle East.
I may not use the right words.
How do you respond to the people who say that socialism has never worked?
Capitalism was the most efficient and best economy, perhaps.
Abject poverty is at the lowest level it's ever been because of capitalism.
Well, I think the numbers that you just talked about is part of the problem.
I don't understand. So what do you hope to accomplish when you're in Congress?
This is a really good question.
So what is it?
I just think that that's the wrong question.
Okay. So why should voters vote for you?
You vote. It's democratic.
Well, this has been enlightening. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh my gosh. When I saw that they sat down and did an interview, I was actually really looking forward. Now that's great. And I'm glad that you played it because that was really fun and hilarious. And it does showcase, but I'm telling you, she is kind of a master. No. Yes, she is that dim. She is that dim, but she wears her dimness really well and is very confident in the way she delivers what she says. And to like lesser intelligent people, you just believe people when they have confidence, which is why people wear confidence more than they wear intelligence, because it's believable. If you're not confident and you're super intelligent, people are not going to believe you.
Here's a clip from the real interview.
But I am, of course, the dynamic there in terms of geopolitics and the war in the Middle East is very different than people expressing their First Amendment right to protest.
Well, yes, but I also think that what people are starting to see, at least in the occupation of Palestine, is just an increasing crisis of humanitarian condition. And that to me is just where I tend to come from on this issue.
You use the term the occupation of Palestine. What did you mean by that?
I think what I meant is like the settlements that are increasing in some of these areas and places where Palestinians are experiencing difficulty in access to their housing and homes.
Do you think you can expand on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd also just, I am not the expert on geopolitics on this issue.
So basically she says Israel is just occupied Palestine.
Right.
But she's not the expert on Middle East politics.
Geopolitical.
Socialist in Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez attacks Israel, calls them the occupiers of Palestine. When pressed on what she meant, she struggles to give an answer, and then admitted she doesn't know what she's talking about.
It just feels right to her.
Yeah, it just feels
She's
right.
been on some late night shows that I watched. She's been on some morning news shows that I have seen. And those people do a really good job. And that's why I said I feel like they might be trying to. I think they're going to realize quickly that she's not the one that they can use. But you can tell by the way that they are leading her questions, they are giving her an opportunity to look as intelligent as possible. And on these shows, it kind of works. And so I want you guys to be a little bit leery. One thing that they do call her out on is the whole socialism thing. She's a full-blown socialist. And when pressed...
She's a communist.
When pressed on it, she's like, well, I just don't really like labels.
Yeah.
That's what she said. That's literally what she said.
Yeah.
So she is totally a socialist. And the left is kind of trying to tell her, like, you know what, honey? People don't exactly like that term. Like, maybe you would get more voters. And she's like, well, we won already. And people know that I'm a socialist. So that's okay.
Yeah,
I mean, that's her whole
the left is definitely trying to distance themselves from her, which is absolutely hilarious. But I wanted you to see some of these tweets because she tweeted out that Republicans were scared of her. She says, Republicans are so scared of me that they're faking videos and presenting them as real on Facebook because they can't deal with reality anymore. And I tweeted out, I said, no, actually, sweetheart, we knew it was fake. And we laughed the entire way because it was so hilarious. So somebody says, this statement means one of two things. You actually think that this satirical video is real. You know it's satire, but you're feigning ignorance to rile up your base, both of which is a bad look for you. Either you don't know it's satire, you know what I mean? Or you can't tell that they're making fun of you.
Right.
This is sad.
Britt Baza says she will do well in the Labour Party of the UK. And that's not just because of her socialist views. That's her denseness. You have a lot of that going on over there.
It's sad.
I'm just saying.
It's really sad how the inbreeding.
Diane Abbott,
all the inbred people go to Labour Party. No one is scared of you. You've exposed yourself countless times. No one is scared of you. Liberals can't understand jokes. They're that miserable. I mean, you have to be really, really stupid to not to know it was a fake satirical piece, but you do pay into an organization that has leaders actively advocating for communism. So, funniest thing I've seen all day, the same libs who claim they're smart enough to run the economy and healthcare and education systems are complaining because this obviously satirical clip isn't labeled satire. If you have a functioning brain cell, you can tell this is satire. Now, when you said that...
But she said in her tweet, she's like, they're putting together fake videos. So, it's almost like she doesn't know.
All right.
Somebody should have told her.
It's going to get worse here in about 2.5 seconds.
Oh, boy.
So, this guy, he goes on to campuses and asks questions of college-age people. This one is in regards to Alexandria...
just say Cortez.
And how they see this socialism, this democratic socialism, which is now trying to get a foothold, which is the best, absolute best thing that the Democrats could ever do. Because what it does, it marginalizes every sane person against the easily gullible, manipulated people.
Right.
So, like, I have friends who... don't like Trump, maybe would vote like for a John Kasich, you know, a lot of, but they're smart, intelligent people. Mm-hmm. A lot of friends like this. Right. I have a couple I'm thinking of exactly, ex-teachers who would see her and would rip her to shreds because they're not socialists. Like, they might appreciate a socialist type program here and there.
Right.
But not socialism.
Yeah.
Right? Most Democrats don't want socialism. They're not socialist, right? A lot of Democrats are just Democrats because they hate, they want abortion, and they think that the Democrats are the party of,
freedom,
for
equality,
every minority, right? But most Democrats, most thinking people who get up every day and go to work aren't socialists.
Right.
You have to be incredibly gullible or incredibly evil to be a socialist. I mean, there's only two spectrums for socialism and communism.
Right.
Incredible gullibility or incredible culpability and just
evilness.
Total, massacre people type.
Chairman Mao.
Yeah. So that's why Chairman Mao and every major communist government, they take the intellectuals and they kill them, or they put them in re-education camps, because any intellectual will say this isn't going to work.
Right.
If you don't mind getting sitting, I'm going to play this video here.
I'm Kevin Phillips with Campus Reform. Today we're in Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's congressional district talking to her supporters about democratic socialism. Is it any different from regular socialism, and who's going to pay for all this free stuff? Let's see what they have to say. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, just elected, 28 years old, self-proclaimed democratic socialist, which has a lot of people talking. What are your views on her so far?
I've heard only positive things.
We love her.
Yeah, we do love her. I voted for her because I'm from Queens.
It was great. It's a breath of fresh air, and I hope it follows through into November.
I like her spirit, and that she's very different.
People tend to freak out when they hear the word socialism applied to anything.
And why do you think that is?
Rightly so.
I think there's this old way of thinking about it.
What do you think the government should be subsidizing? So her platform includes free healthcare, college tuition, minimum living wage, housing as a human right. Are those things that you think the government should be providing for people?
Absolutely.
Are those things that you would support?
Yes, it is.
Are those all things that you would support the government subsidizing? 100%.
I feel like everyone should have free education and healthcare.
How are we going to pay for those?
Oh, God. I mean...
Us,
I guess.
Yeah. Who, in your mind, should pay for all of the free things?
All of the free things? Well, some of it should come from taxes, but the government should pay for it.
But the government is funded by taxes.
Yeah.
I don't know where the money would come from, but they can figure it out.
Okay. More taxes on the rich people.
Yeah, for sure, man. They can afford it.
Tax corporations, let's tax the 1% and find a way to support a living wage.
The people with a good idea and a good reason to spend their tax money wouldn't mind actually paying more taxes.
There are so many of these countries out there that are employing a lot more socialism in their government and into their politics, and they're doing really well. So,
is Venezuela doing that?
I don't know too much about Venezuela, honey. I think they need to... I mean, are they still communists right now?
So they're technically socialist.
Okay.
Look at other countries. It works. Like other countries, you pay higher taxes, but your government takes care of you.
So when you see the social system failing in Venezuela, does that concern you?
I mean...
Yeah. Obviously.
My family's Cuban, and I've seen the downfall of extreme leftism. But also, I see how it, boosts the community, and, it has its up and downs, and I think we can definitely learn from history on that terms.
Okay.
Our country needs change, and if it has to be on the opposite side, on the extreme polar opposite side, maybe it's what we need.
Privatized healthcare is a huge issue, and if it was a government-funded thing, that would be, when there aren't...
Do you think the government would run it more efficially?
In a perfect world, sure.
But we don't have a perfect world.
I don't know exactly where I stand, but I know democratic socialism is better than conservative. It's just better than, it's the better option.
I don't know much, but it's just better.
When I think of it, I just think of more open-minded people that aren't as economically conserved.
I wanted you to hear that punchline where she said, democratic socialism is better. I think about people who are not so economically conserved. So
my other favorite line is from that girl, though, because he says, how are we going to pay for it? And she says, well, some of it should come from taxes, of course, but the government should pay for it. And he says, well, the government's funded by taxes. And she's like, well, yeah.
And he asked the guy, so you think the government is more efficient? Well, in a perfect world. Raise your hand if you think we're ever going to live in a perfect world.
So
thank you. Thank you, Democrats, for Alexandria. Yeah. Because it makes our job that much easier. I mean, if we're going toe to toe with somebody who's smart and intelligent and has their economics down pat and has real solid answers.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot harder to go toe-to-toe with somebody who has more than half a brain cell.
Yeah.
Right? But even the Democrats are pulling away from her because it's so embarrassing. It's really embarrassing.
So, even in the UK, which they're pretty socialistic, they're running socialism, and they have the free healthcare, they have a lot of free college tuition.
Well, remember, but it doesn't work out that way.
Exactly. You can't always go to college for free. You have to, it's kind of a
pretend.
tricky.
It's really tricky.
Right.
They get you in. They say you have free education, but you don't. You don't get to be whatever you want to be.
And it's very limited. I hear from you guys as far as higher education goes. We call it college. You guys call it going to university, whichever you want to call it. From what I understand, you guys have it very hard. It's very difficult for you to actually get a higher education. Your high school stops at 16, and then you can go on and get a couple more years, but your grades have to be impeccable for you to actually go to university, you guys in the chat can correct me on this, but your aspirations in the UK are very limited. I blame it on socialism. They also discourage independence and entrepreneurship. That's something that in socialism you can't really have. Why? Because in the UK, you guys are already paying almost half of your entire income to
you don't have a lot of
the government
income to do anything with.
Exactly. So if you are a entrepreneur and you have your own business where expenses are really high, then you really can't end up paying half of your income to the government. You need that to run your business, and it doesn't always work out. Oh, Michelle, write-offs and taxes, and it doesn't actually work that way. They really discourage independence because they want you hooked to the system.
Think about this. They have an entire party called the Labor Party.
Right.
It's supposed to be the Workers' Party. But if you're always a worker, then you're always a victim, and you're always wanting more from your boss.
Right.
But you're never your own boss.
Yeah.
You're never your own autonomous person. And that's where it gets totally mixed
Chris
up.
Holman, and I actually wanted to hit on this. I was going to talk about my uncle going to our university hospital, and before he had insurance, he had to do the pay down scale healthcare where you literally wait for 8 hours to see a doctor, then you're seeing a student. But Chris Holman hits on this from the VA side, same thing. I've been waiting several months to see my primary care doctor at the VA to get a referral to see an eye doctor so I can get a new prescription so that I won't get migraines anymore. That's what happens when the government... when the government runs your healthcare, to finish that sentence, we should just look at the VA to see how the government runs our healthcare. Then Jim West says, at 21, the grads needed are nearly, this is very difficult to, grades. The grades, sorry, my arrow was covering that. The grades needed are nearly wiped in the UK, so many start university at 21. St. Mark the Evangelist says university costs £9,000 a year. That actually doesn't sound too astronomical to me.
Yeah, but it's not free.
But it's not free. Exactly. And here they are touting, free education. You get to whatever you want.
And then people are touting Scandinavia, right? Denmark actually runs its entire social program off of oil,
right?
That it shares amongst the people. You've got Sweden, which is a homogenous culture that is kind of like all the same ethnicity and everything.
Yeah.
They're bringing new ethnicities, people living off the system, and it's draining the system dry.
That's exactly what you will have.
They're brainwashed to work, even if there is no work in Sweden, right? So everybody's supposed to work. So they brainwash you from the time your child to be a worker and everything. So they have created this system that does actually kind of, keep the clock ticking.
Forget having dreams.
Right, but when you have... Sweden is not the U.S. We are a hodgepodge. Sweden doesn't have... millions of illegal migrants.
Right.
How are they going to supply food and shelter and housing for millions? And they only have hundreds of thousands of illegal migrants, and they're barely staying afloat.
Right.
It's not... This democratic socialism wouldn't work here in America because we're just a homogenous society of all kinds of people.
Yeah.
And it's not even very democratic because people just tell you what to do.
Jim West says, I finally got in a financial position to study from 23 to 26 without ruining myself. Mm-hmm. So everything that they are touting is free is not free.
Right. Exactly. I want to give some good news, very kind of cool news. The Ninth Circuit rules we have a constitutional right to open carry for self-defense. The Ninth Circuit is one of the most liberal courts and the one that gave the Trump White House heartburn over its executive order on immigration. But even a blind squirrel finds a nut. This court recently ruled that we have a constitutional right to open carry in public for self-defense in the state of Hawaii. The Federal Appeals Court ruled on Tuesday that the U.S. Constitution's Second Amendment protects a right to openly carry a gun in public for self-defense, rejecting a claim by Hawaii officials that the right only applies to be guns kept at home. The extent of the right to gun ownership protected by the Second Amendment is one of the most hotly contested debates in the United States. The ruling issued by the three-judge panel on the Ninth Circuit based in San Francisco came after the Supreme Court declined to rule either way on the carrying of guns in public. We do not take lightly the problem of gun violence, the judge said, but for better or for worse, the Second Amendment does protect a right to carry a firearm in public. So does this get bumped up to the Supreme Court? If Judge Brett Kavanaugh is confirmed, it looks like he will, then the chances improve that the High Court could hear arguments to finally decide whether we, as a whole people, have the constitutional right to carry loaded firearms in public.
I want to know why that's a question. Like, why do we need the Supreme Court to decide these things, such as, do we really have the freedom of speech? So these are really basic things that we don't need the Supreme Court. It's like saying, do I have a right to breathe air? Yeah, I do.
So, according to the SCOTUS blog, the question was thrust before the court in Drake versus Jerichojosh 4 years ago. Whether the Second Amendment secures a right to carry handguns outside of the home for self-defense, and whether state officials violate the Second Amendment by requiring that individuals wishing to exercise their right to carry a handgun for self-defense prove a justifiable need for doing so.
But why is the question about handguns?
The court declined. In 2013, Milford versus Gallagher also asked whether the so-called justifiable need provision for concealed carry permits was constitutional. Again, the court declined. On the question about the constitutionality of state-based assault bans, the court again decided to take a pass. So, based on this history, this person says, I'm not going to jump for glee yet. Then again, it shows that the fight for our Second Amendment rights shouldn't be let up, nor should we give up no matter what. So, we see this happen. We see that things are kind of moving in our direction, and I wanted to encourage you that if the Ninth Circuit, which is crazy and based out of Hawaii, I thought it was based out of Hawaii, but I guess they're based in San Francisco. If this was a Ninth Circuit decision in Young versus the state of Hawaii, and the big takeaway that states must allow for some form of carrying arms for self-defense for the average citizen. So that's what we have. So it was Young versus state of Hawaii, but it's broadly interpreted for all the states.
Fantastic. So that is really good news, though, even though I'm kind of like playing it off like it should be a no-brainer.
Right.
Since it's apparently not, this is good news.
Right. So I could have put this in the title, and I didn't want to put this picture up. We didn't go live, and I apologize because we've been really busy. There was a terror attack. We're not allowed to call it a terror attack. We have to call it a mental illness attack, because when mental illness attacks somebody, then they attack other people, according to the mainstream media.
So, but that means that people that commit terror attacks are not mentally disabled at all.
Paul Joseph Watson did a really good, funny breakdown of this, in that the man who came out with the spin that this particular shooter was mentally ill is a well-known Islamic spin doctor who's gotten awards for trying to make over the Islamic image. And he released a statement from the family saying that our son has been suffering from mental illness. Now,
really?
This shooter shot 15 people in Toronto. You need to know some facts here. Number one, it was a Greek Christian Orthodox region, and it is reported as a fact that when he went past people of color, he said, "Don't worry, I'm not going to shoot you." He killed 2 people, and people are saying that don't worry, it was mental illness. Literally what they've started doing is that they are squashing us from saying terror attack.
Right.
They're literally putting a lid on it. And I'm going to take you to Alex Jones is shut down on Facebook. He's got strikes on him, videos for Islamophobia. I didn't know that Islamophobia is now a thing. Like, here it is. Any moment, then we're gone. If that's the thing, if
that's the precedent that has been set.
If the precedent is, if you say things against Islam and you're gone, then we could be gone. Anybody's gone.
Right.
It's up for CNN and the powers that be want Alex Jones gone. Regardless of how y'all feel about him, if CNN is going so far as to try to get Facebook and Twitter to destroy Alex Jones and YouTube, then he's actually doing the right thing. He is the tip of the spear. I love InfoWars. I love the reporters there. They're really good people trying to do the right thing.
Right.
So, back to this Toronto shooting. This is a statement from the family. We are at terrible loss for words, but we must speak out and express our deepest condolences to the families who are now suffering on account of our son's horrific actions. We are utterly devastated by the incomprehensible news that our son was responsible for the senseless violence and loss of life that took place in Danforth. Our son had severe mental health challenges.
I believe that.
Struggling with psychosis and depression his entire life.
Mm-hmm.
The interventions of professionals were unsuccessful. Medications and therapy were unable to treat him. While we did our best to seek help for him throughout his life of struggle and pain, he just shot 15 people and killed 2. But we're supposed to feel for his struggle and pain. He just couldn't keep it in any longer.
You know, this reminds me of that TED Talk that we shared on pedophilia, where the lady was trying to say that there's a difference between a child sex abuser and a pedophile. She was saying that pedophiles are just strictly attracted to children, and that there are many people that sexually abuse children that are not pedophiles because they are primarily attracted to adults, and therefore they are not pedophiles. So only 30% of child sexual abuse is committed by pedophiles. Apparently, the other 70% of child sexual abuse is just committed by people that want to abuse children but are not sexually attracted to children, so therefore it is not pedophilia. You're trying to play word games here, and there is no difference. That is exactly what they are trying to do here. Anybody that will commit any kind of terror attack has mental issues. You cannot separate the two. If you are brainwashed by a religion to commit an act of terror, you have mental issues. So I don't care if this guy had mental issues and it was documented by doctors. All the other ones that committed terror attacks that didn't have that documentation by doctors, those poor suffering people just didn't get a chance to see a doctor so that it could be diagnosed. So when it was finished, we could say, oh my gosh, it was just mental illness, that poor guy.
So it doesn't matter that he had been researching ISIS and jihad.
Right. No, because he just had a mental illness.
So, but what that does, in all honesty, is make us all now have to look at people with mental illness as potential mass murderers.
Yeah.
And that's the caveat that doesn't fit.
Right.
That's, you can't throw everyone else under the bus.
Right.
Because you're literally saying that mental illness causes people to become mass murderers, which is absolutely unequivocally false. That's not true. Mental illness does not cause people to kill people.
Right.
It's an ideology or a thought process.
Right.
That causes people to kill people. You know? I also need you to know that in Canada, this is highly disturbing. They have agreed to take in, I believe, 90 white helmets and their family members. Now remember, the white helmets worked with al-Nusra and terror groups. So these are terrorists that they're bringing in as, quote, refugees.
Well, not only are they terrorists, but they have been proven to falsify terror attacks as well.
I know.
They are not to be trusted on any level.
Jeremy Hunt says, fantastic news that we, UK and friends, have secured evacuation of white helmets and their families. Thank you, Israel and Jordan, for acting so quickly on our request. The white helmets are the bravest of the brave. And in a desperate situation, this is at least one ray of hope. So you're bringing these terrorists to Britain, and these are the white helmets. We've covered them extensively.
You know what this is called? This is a Trojan horse. They have done this so that you say with open arms, come in, and you have literally just let the criminal into your house.
Okay. So we're going to actually cover a lot of that. Now, speaking of letting criminals into your house, do you guys remember how we covered that Afghan little boy who was 3 who was attacked with acid? And Michelle's like, I bet they were going after his mom. Well,
Michelle was right. See, you couldn't even say it.
I did.
No, you did. You did to me, but you're going to say it again on live.
On Facebook.
You want to say it to them. Just
and I put it on Twitter.
It. But like, say
I put it on Twitter and Facebook. Michelle was right.
Michelle was right.
I wrote it like all over the
place. But I just wanted to hear it. again.
So this mother was tracked down by her husband after she appeared in newspaper without her veil. As police continue to quiz this guy, they got him. He's 39-year-old Afghan's being questioned after his son suffered serious burns. The couple initially settled in Wolverhampton after fleeing war-torn Afghanistan. Later, last year, she left her taxi driver husband and moved to a house in Worcestershire.
I thought we did that one.
Worcester. It is now thought that the target of the attack might have been the boy's mother for not wearing a veil. So they have like 5 guys total on this thing, and some of them are like some like Fight Club, the Romani Fight Club dudes. It's really sad. It's really, really sad. But it is another atrocity brought to you in the name of the religion of peace. All right. No, UK. So, in other good news, I mean, I want to jump around from good news to kind of weird news, so keep you guys alive and pumping. Donald Trump met with Juncker. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. End of story.
No, it is not the end of the story.
I'm kidding.
Jean-Claude Juncker.
He wasn't drunk. He didn't appear to be drunk, actually.
Well, I bet somebody sat him down and said, "You will not. This is the President of the United States. I don't care. You can sit there and fidget."
So Donald Trump got a lot of concessions out of the EU, 0 tariffs and all kind of crazy cool stuff. And the one thing I said when Worth a Look sent this to me was, "Oh my gosh, Brexit needs Trump. Oh my gosh, you guys would be sitting pretty if you had Trump to do this Brexit negotiation. It's absolutely..."
And then Nigel says the exact same thing. If only we had a proper leader like Donald Trump taking on the EU, not Teresa the Appeaser.
Now, I want to make sure I have... I thought I had a video up. But I'm going to see if we can find... Because I know Nigel had a moment on this. Let's see if he's got a video here. Let's see, okay.
But I can't believe it. The European Commission, remember, Mr. Juncker, is not elected, so he's got no threat of being removed. I'm guessing now that the pressure that came on from German car manufacturers must have been absolutely enormous. What is even more remarkable is over the last few months, the global media have portrayed Trump bad guy, protectionist, EU good guys, free traders. The truth of it is, the protectionist European Union has now been forced by Trump into taking an approach that is more towards free trade and fair trade. It is not only an extraordinary day, but a massive, huge victory for President Trump's negotiating position. Well done him.
Well done him. I love the way he says that. Well done him. I wanted to see if I could find... he was at the high school leadership summit, the conservative high school leadership summit. So that was kind of exciting.
You're still talking about Nigel.
I am. I thought I had another clip of him, and that was kind of short. That's okay.
Sagittarian says, "I heard Juncker brought colorful cue cards to explain things to President Trump." Jim West says Juncker was on Bud Light, so not affected.
I do want to play this for you. This is on just a clip on Brexit here, real quick.
Andrea Jenkins.
Thank you,
Mr. Speaker.
This
was
the Prime
really
Minister
inform the House at what point it was decided that Brexit means remain.
Prime Minister.
I think we played this last Sunday.
Can I say to my honourable friend?
Oh, where's the camera?
I don't think we did.
I think you were gone. And I think I played it. Yeah. But it's still worth playing again.
I probably did. Let me see. I want to show you Trump and Juncker. I'm going to bring you a little
Jim says, EU backed down in 3 hours to Trump. Every media outlet sold it as the EU winning as a bloc. LOL.
All right, someone play
The United States and the European Union together count for
more than 830 million citizens, and more than 50% of the global GDP. In other words, together we're more than 50% of trade. If we team up, we can make our planet a better, more secure, and more prosperous place. Already today, the United States and the European Union have a $1 trillion bilateral trade relationship, the largest economic relationship anywhere in the world. We want to further strengthen this trade relationship to the benefit of all American and European citizens. This is why we agreed today, first of all, to work together towards zero tariffs, zero non-tariff barriers, and zero subsidies on non-auto industrial goods. Thank you.
So Trump really kind of laid down the smack there, and so that is going to lead us to, I know I have them up here somewhere. I didn't close them out, did I?
Look at all these tabs Leah has for you people. She has been working really hard getting today's show together because there's so much to cover. A lot happens in a week. We were going to go live last night to cover all of the Q stuff.
And then we ended
up
on a mirror.
Well, that too. And cleaning out pig pens.
Yeah. All right. So, the moment you've all been waiting for. Q posts. He was gone for about 20 days. And there are people who follow Q posts every day. They love to see what he's going to say. First of all, some of you may be skeptical on Q posts. I'm going to say this. Whoever he is, or she, they have...
Get your pronoun right.
I know. This is definitely one of those multi-pronouns. Have an inside track to what Donald Trump is doing, and to... They have a bigger picture. And they seem to know things before they happen. I'm just going to say they, okay?
Okay.
They seem to know what's going to happen before it happens. And I'm going to tell you also that Patriot Gallery had to give me a primer on abbreviations, because Patriot Gallery follows Q, because she follows Lionel like all the time.
More than us. But Lionel goes live multiple times a day because he can.
So Patriot Gallery had told me on, I believe, the 24th that Q was back. So I started to follow Q and kind of start there on the 24th. And it just so happened that one of his posts, I think on the 25th, was on this video with Juncker. But I will start here. I'm not going to go through all of them, but a lot of them to kind of give you an idea of what's going on. From sea to shining sea. Well, he wrote that. And from 5 minutes before, Trump went to a rally, I believe in Georgia. And during the time he played the song From Sea to Shining Sea. And a lot of the QAnon people saw that he went like this during From Sea to Shining Sea, and he kind of possibly made a Q. Like, everything he does, he's possibly making a Q. I don't know. He has to know that this is going on because, like Michelle said, Q is in the mainstream media
right now.
Apple just dropped the QAnon Post app because
that's huge.
They're afraid of this stuff getting out there.
They're saying that they're afraid because it's fake or whatever. I don't really know what their excuse is.
Their excuse is that they're peddling that all Democrats are part of Pizzagate, Pedogate.
Right.
Okay.
Which that's not true.
And that's
from
not
what
I
understand.
Q is posting on.
Right.
So, with the Apple app, it was number 1 in entertainment and number 4 all around.
Let that sink in for a second, because Apple has a lot of apps. Number 4 all around.
Right. And so Apple is pressured. So, like, there's so much pressure. So when I see the mainstream media against something, then I know it's good. So that's my first clue. Then he goes on to say, who does Huber report to directly? Huber is this guy that Jeff Sessions has appointed to look into the corruption of the DOJ. He's different than the other guy that we just heard from. Define evidence. Who has the server? Donald Trump in the meeting with Putin says, where's the server? Why does POTUS continue to refer to the server? POTUS does not speculate. Future proves the past. Who has it all? Topic stated in past. Future big meeting repeats important. Think Twitter. Those awake see. Those asleep blind. Fake news. Now, it's interesting to watch a lot of these things drop, and then other things drop immediately after. So then you have Representative Gates come out saying Twitter is shadow banning, and so it says watch Twitter, and then all of a sudden Twitter is in the news. Donald Trump is tweeting about Twitter. I'm like,
and that will be covered when we cover InfoWars censorship too. We'll get to that a little bit deeper.
So think Twitter, and then Trump tweets out, "Why we're going to go after you? We're going to investigate this shadow banning." So let's see. There's a couple more. He posts here all these links to the Daily Beast, Media Matters, Right Wing Watch, Huffington Post, NBC Nightly News. Here, just to give you an idea, Apple pulls conspiracy theory application from the Apple Store. And then it goes on to say
controversial and popular conspiracy theory app called Q Drops. It takes false online conspiracies like Pizzagate even further. The Q Drops app pushes bogus theories called QAnon.
What's dangerous about this app is that it amplifies a theory that alleges that the Democratic Party is engaged in child murder and sex rings of children.
Celebrities like Roseanne and Kurt Schilling have shared and supported Q conspiracies on social media, as well as Sean Hannity and Alex Jones. Q Drops recently peaked at number 10 in the paid app section of Apple's App Store, number 1 in the entertainment section. Apple and Google have taken cuts of the profits.
This spread of falsehoods is dangerous for public safety.
Apple CEO Tim Cook has repeatedly said his company prides itself on reviewing each app, saying back in April, in the aftermath of Facebook's Cambridge Analytica data scandal,
we don't subscribe to the view that you have to let everybody in that wants to, or if you don't believe in free speech.
It's very
right. We don't believe that.
But in this case, controversial Q Drops was let in. When NBC News approached Apple to ask about Q Drops, it removed the app from the App Store, telling us we will take swift action to remove any apps that violate our guidelines or the law. We take this responsibility very seriously. But Q Drops still appears in the Google Play Store. Amazon sells QAnon merchandise. Both companies declined to comment. The husband and wife team that created Q Drops and gets the biggest cut of the profits from its sales has not responded either. But after Apple dropped their app, they tweeted they're working with Apple to alleviate any concerns they may have so we can be put back on the store.
Before you believe anything, just give one thought to who might be making money off the information that you're being given, off of the melodrama that you're being fed.
Who cares? When I was a kid, we went to convenience stores all the time. I don't know, it was just a thing. We don't go into any at all anymore. But we would go into a convenience store and I would see the National Enquirer, for those of you across the pond.
Oh my gosh.
Was just like you would see Godzilla and a big building. You would see the 8-armed woman had triplets.
Michelle, they're still at the grocery store.
So my point is, no one cares. No one cares if you are peddling falsehoods. It's legal to do so.
It's all tabloids. They're everywhere. They're in every grocery store.
You're allowed to write stories against the movie stars that may be totally false. Kirstie Alley gained 800 pounds. That's literally not physically possible. Okay, it doesn't matter. You're allowed to do these things. And you know what? Here's the deal. Apple is allowed to remove their app. I believe that, as in the words of Nigel, they are cutting off their nose to spite their face. Because with an app that is that huge, you're going to have people that are leaving Apple because they're fed up with you trying to control it's like, you have all these different avenues. You try to go one way and then they cut it off. You try to go another way and they cut it off. And so you're left in this box because they literally they've cut off all the avenues and they say, well, you can go wherever you want. You're free. Well, you've cut off all the avenues. I can't get out anywhere. Well, that's not our problem. You're free to move about. It's just we've cut off the avenues. People are waking up to this.
Yeah. There is no greater current threat to the American people than the fake news media. Controlled MSM, study Nazism, compare contrast Antifa, compare contrast socialism push for rebirth, who financed then, who is financing now, dark to light, good wins. And he posts.
All right, now with NBC News exclusive, Apple and Google have vowed to fight fake news and conspiracy theories, but they're also profiting from it. The tech giants sold an app.
So it's absolutely crazy. Another thing on Q there. You're witnessing the systematic destruction of the old guard. Power will return to the people. It says, "We saw you. God bless you, patriots," and motorcade honking for Donald Trump. He says, "We saw you." Kind of crazy. And then I think I told you. Somebody else found this. This is from the Sea to Shining Sea. And it's right at the beginning and like 20 seconds in. And people thought it was kind of like, ooh. Oh, you have to turn it up down there.
From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea.
So that was the Sea to Shining Sea.
I have to tell you guys, here is the deal on Michelle's opinion of the whole Q thing. One thing I feel like I can say as a matter of fact, I have no problem putting this out there. I believe this is fact. Trump follows Q. Okay? Because he knows everything that is going on. He goes to The Drudge. He follows Alex Jones. Trump is in the know as far as what is going on with his base because he understands that it is you guys
keeping him alive.
Exactly. And so he wants to know what you guys, it's kind of like a parent almost. They want to know what their kid is into. He wants to know what you guys are into. So he is following Q. So regardless of whether you think that Donald Trump is Q or it's a right-hand person who's, and Trump is in on it, we'll set that aside. Dude knew of this Q post, and I believe, after watching that, he really was trying to give an ode to it. I think he loves it. I think he loves the mystery behind it, people not knowing. I think he totally caters to it.
To the 25th, this is what actually got me going, because I saw somebody, a Zero Hedge or something, post about this. Donald Trump is going to have 4 positions to appoint to the Federal Reserve. And it says 2 + 2 confirmations, which is 4. Fast, we will never again be under their control. And they post a link to Trump poised to take control of the Federal Reserve. President Trump sharply criticized the Federal Reserve this week, saying interest rate increases are hurting the economy. Trump will have the opportunity to fashion the central bank in the image he would like, as he has 4 vacancies to fill on the Board of Governors. The result could be a more politicized Fed.
And maybe it would lead to an audit.
So the Board of Governors and Federal Reserve is required to have 7 members. It has 3. 2 of the current governors were put into their position by President Trump. 2 more have been nominated by the president and are awaiting confirmation by the Senate. After these 2 are put on the Fed's board, the president will then nominate 2 more to follow them. In essence, it is possible that 6 of the 7 board members will be put in place by Trump. The Federal Open Market Committee has 12 members and sets the nation's monetary policy. 7 of the 12 are members of the Board of Governors. 5 additional are Federal Reserve District Bank presidents. Other than the head of the Fed Bank in New York, who was nominated by the president, the other 4 can only take their positions as district bank presidents if the board in Washington agrees to their hiring. One of these, the Fed Bank president in Minneapolis, Neil Kaspari, is already gunning for no further rate increases. So we'll see. Bottom line, the president can and will take control of the Fed. It may be recalled when the law was written creating the Federal Reserve, the Secretary of the Treasury was designated as the head of the Federal Reserve. We are going to return to that era. So we shall see. Q's pretty excited about it, so I will keep my fingers crossed.
Anything that has Trump criticizing the Federal Reserve has me excited.
Somebody says morning Q, and then he says happy days ahead, Patriot. Somebody says need for clarification in order to prevent movement in this movement split. Is R real or fake? And he says there's only Q. There are a lot of people who are like either pro Q or anti Q, and I'm open. Okay, I'm open. And then it says that whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, is the right of the people to alter, abolish, and institute a new government. Declaration of Independence there. He puts it up like I think somebody posted it a couple times.
Did you read that one? Did you read that one already?
Not yet. We're getting to it. Let's see. EU blink, concessions made, zero tariffs, U.S. is greater than the EU. I can do math symbols there, right? America first, this is what happens when the POTUS does not sell out. After such an enormous announcement, what questions were shouted at the POTUS? Russian delay in meeting to Putin. Eyes open, MSM does not represent the people. The days of our leader lining their pockets at the expense of the American taxpayer are over. Recent example, and then this talks about Claire McCaskill, who got $131 million in subsidies, and she might be losing her seat, which is exciting. And then he says, go Kansas.
Which really just means go Kansas for president, our Kansas. That's totally what it means. Actually, I'm kind of convinced that Patriot Gallery is Q.
I know.
Because Patriot Gallery, when she types things out, they are in sentences just like that. You would never know that she actually is a literary master and can write like nobody's business. She's written some lawyers and stuff in the past. Kind of scary. I mean, amazing. And yet, when she goes on to channels like Lionel and other places and in our chat, she types Q posts. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is a thing. I'm convinced. I think my mother is Q.
I think that's why she likes Q, because she can just he speaks her language.
No, she is Q. Totally, my mom is Q. Oh my gosh.
All right, so
our channel's going to blow up.
Articles of impeachment were drafted against Rod Rosenstein. Now, he backed off on that recently because Paul Ryan would not do it. Okay? And he goes on to say, if Rod Rosenstein is dirty, Mueller must also be dirty. If Mueller is dirty, Rod Rosenstein must also be dirty. So they're both dirty. So then he goes on to...
Dirty Wad.
Yeah. No name. Okay. No name is
Mom
John
has
McCain.
to clarify sarcasm. I'm being sarcastic. For some people that don't get satire.
Well.
Yeah, I don't know. She could be cute. I don't know.
She wouldn't let you know if she was.
She wouldn't let you know if she was.
She wouldn't. Mm-mm. So, Patriot Gallery had to, and she knew all of the abbreviations. I'm just telling you. No,
Patriot. Adeline says, not Patriot Mom anymore, Patriot Q.
So, no name is John McCain. Okay, so it says over here, why is no name in the news again? Is no name in the redacted portion of the FISA application? When did no name travel to the UK? So here Q is making this essential total tie-in to the fact that the UK meddled in our elections.
Oh, boom, mic drop.
When did no name travel to the UK? That's John McCain. What if the UK government worked hand in hand with the Hussein administration? I was like, Mom, is that like Saudi Arabia? He goes, no. They always call it Obama Hussein because his name is Barack Hussein Obama.
Oh my gosh.
So his name is Hussein in the Q post. So when did Obama Hussein, let's see, the Obama Hussein administration sabotaged the 2016 election with the UK government, data collection, voice, videoing, bugging, creation of the fake intel dossier using this ex-UK spy, right? Co-sponsor of the insurance policy, the UK, here we have Q framing the narrative, not framing the UK, just framing the narrative around the UK. Mom, PS and LP, tell me again. No name is Peter Strzok. Lisa Page. Sorry, I got it. I remember now.
That was really fast. I mean, I feel like that was good. Reaction timing. You got that.
It took me a minute. Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, John McCain, no name, James Clapper, Brennan Rice, Loretta Lynch, Hillary Clinton, BC is Bill Clinton, Hussein plus 22 people. What if the intel mass penetrations have framed Russia? And yes, they did. CrowdStrike servers, Susan Rice.
This is
SR,
good. This is like a fun game.
And
J.A.
Is that Valerie Jarrett? No. Oh.
No, because that would be V.A.
Well, yeah, there's another one.
John Adams.
Why does the UK government desperately want... Oh, Julian Assange.
Oh,
J.A.
yeah.
Think source files, the more you know. So this is encouraging to me because for a while there, I wasn't sure where Q stood on Julian Assange. Q is pro Julian Assange, and he wants to know why the UK wants him so bad. Okay. Then he says something big is about to drop, and then Facebook has gone into a death spiral The stocks were down 19%, then they were down 20%, then they were down 24%, then they were kind of back up at 20%.
It's like one of the biggest losses.
$160 billion. And I said billion. Zuckerberg himself lost $16 billion in one day just in his own little portfolio. Hey, I woke up today.
Great.
I lost $16. Hey, I woke up today. I lost $16 billion. That can't be a thing. You guys, Facebook isn't a thing. Like, it's not a real tangible thing. The fact that that dude got $16 billion to lose for creating an app that we all get on and say hello to our friends with, that is absolutely ridiculous. We are great.
No, not million with an M. Billion with a B.
Billion with a B. Billion.
That's just how much he lost, and he's still sitting pretty, even with that loss. So why did he lose it?
Now this is the tricky thing. Now, there's a lot. Q is making posts on this as we speak. This is a developing story. Okay? Now, I want you to go back with me to 2016.
We're taking a time machine.
Everybody and their mother, right, left, middle, centrist, they were sharing things all over Facebook, but it was predominantly anti-Clinton.
You people.
And pro-Donald Trump.
Right.
That's how he got elected. Alex Jones was being shared on Facebook. Everybody was being shared. Breitbart was being shared. WikiLeaks was being shared. My friends were sharing it. Friends who don't post political things were sharing.
Yeah.
Like an article on Clinton would get shared like millions of times. They said to Zuckerberg, you know, Facebook ruined this election with fake news. Why are we hearing about fake news? Because they went to Zuckerberg and said it's fake news about Hillary Clinton and child molestation and P-Gate and Pizzagate and all that stuff. So he says, no, it didn't. We just let people share ideas. We just let them share ideas. And they said, no, you ruined this for Hillary. The deep state got on Zuckerberg. And as Alex Jones pointed out, they said to him, you're going to have to shoot your feet. You have to shoot both feet. He goes, it's going to hurt. They said, we know. You shoot your feet or we kill you. Zuckerberg had to shoot his feet. So that's basically why Facebook is lost. Because we were being promoted. Mm-hmm. We were getting the opportunity. It's like $3 here, $3 there. Every page, every day or several times a week, post a $3. That's how they get their average. That's how they get. And it's not just $3. And the next thing you're buying more ads and more ads and more ads and more ads.
Right.
And you're able to put your page out there. It was all conservatives. Nobody was sharing positive things about Hillary Clinton.
Well, and it's not
There's
just
no
Hillary
positive
Clinton.
Hillary
It's
Clinton
just
lefty pages.
It really is red-pilled people versus not. Mm-hmm. And there is no one in the blue pill arena that is actively sharing things. And if they are, it doesn't spread like a virus, like an antibody, because it isn't actually doing anything. It's dead. No one wants to share what you have. Right. So it's either you have the most adorable, cute puppy video that's nursing a kitten or something goes viral, or the conservative red-pilled people, those videos go viral. There is no in-between because ain't nobody want what you serving.
So, speaking of ads, do you want to drop an ad for 1776 here?
Yes.
This is the 1776 United. During the 4th of July, I got shirts for everybody.
She did.
This is the signer shirt. I love their shirts, so I wanted to make a plug for these t-shirts that I absolutely love. All right, moving on. We're going to just read a couple more.
That there.
Yeah, it's on your arm. Reading a couple more here. What is the point of filing impeachment, Art, if Ryan was going to reject? Known beforehand? Optics. Think logically. Could Sessions publicly challenge Rod Rosenstein without creating a dilemma? What events would immediately transpire if Sessions challenged Rod Rosenstein? Would it immediately demonstrate that Sessions must be aware of key Mueller facts? Facts or failure of duty that he cannot possibly know if he's recused? Facts, a case he is supposed to be recused from? Think logically. One challenge to Rod Rosenstein would immediately trigger attacks to remove Sessions, given his clear involvement in receiving information, return a case he is fully recused from. Who does Hoover directly report to? Jeff Sessions. So, what he's trying to say is, and this, pains me to say, it's possible, I don't know if I believe it, that Jeff Sessions is stuck. He is literally like a character in a video game.
Wonderland.
In a video game.
Okay.
And he can't get out. Right? He wants to get out. He's screaming to get out.
It's Tron.
Right. He literally, the only thing he can do is go to this high school thing and yell, lock her up. He literally can't do anything because then he loses his position. I don't know. It's so frustrating. But Hoover reports to Sessions, so he's getting information that should actually get him to fire Rod Rosenstein. But if he fires Rod Rosenstein, then all Hades breaks loose. Right?
Do it.
So, no, he can't. No, he seriously can't. Like, bad Hades. Why is this important? Why did Sessions recuse? Is the left attacking Sessions? What advantage exists based on this setup? POTUS publicly expresses his anger to Sessions' recusal. Do you believe POTUS would allow a complete takeover of his DOJ if nothing was being done behind the scenes to hold people accountable? When POTUS states that the swamp is being drained, do you believe it? When POTUS states it's happening, do you believe it? Do you believe POTUS would allow Sessions and Rod Rosenstein to run his DOJ if something wasn't being done to his liking? Logical thinking. Clickbait derails logical thinking. Think for yourself. Trust yourself. Mueller investigating POTUS tweets for obstruction. You now have a front row seat. Enjoy the show. So, yes.
The more you read those, the more I know it's my mom.
I know.
You know it's mom. I know
Well, and then somebody posted this thing. We're coming after you. We're going to get you. We know who you are. And then he posted a scripture. Put to death, therefore, whatever belongs to your earthly nature, sexual immorality, impurity, lust, evil desires, and greed, which is idolatry. Because of these, the wrath of God is coming. Colossians 3:5. Your evil has no place in this world.
Totally my mother. If not my mother, she's on the phone with whoever this Q person is.
So Facebook,
collaborating.
Here's the real big reason for the Facebook drop.
Right?
The shareholders want Zuckerberg out of the chairmanship. He's a chairman and he's CEO. So Facebook shares are dropping. The shareholder wants to out Zuckerberg as Facebook chairman. Also in the news just today is that Facebook was trying to work with China to get Facebook in China. We have a Chinese friend. You can't
Ain't got no Facebook.
And it was set to happen, and then China pulled out. Because in China, there are so many different levels of corruption, and when a town or a city or a province may go with you, if somebody else doesn't, then they can pull the plug.
I would like to talk to you about the discussions between Zuckerberg and the Chinese for if Facebook can go to China. The Chinese people say to Zuckerberg, how good are you at the censorship? How can you ensure us that bad information, good information, will not be disseminated to our citizens? Zuckerberg says, well, we're pretty good at censoring. I don't know. You let Hillary Clinton, you made her lose. I'm not convinced that you can do this. And Zuckerberg says, no, but we've really worked on our I don't think so. We do not trust that you can make sure that our people will not be able to get the truth out to other people. And we need to keep our secrets. So no Facebook in China anymore, ever. Yeah.
So I'm going to play for you this little clip by Jim Jordan, who...
That was not Korean, Adeline. I think that was Chinese.
Jim Jordan
feels Chinese.
Has put his hat in for Speaker of the House. Now watch for the trolls to come out and the evil to come out.
This is time for Michelle's happy dance.
To rip him to pieces.
Well, not that part, but the fact that Jim Jordan has put in his...
name
in the hat.
I hope he stays strong and is able to withstand the power.
Stay strong.
So here he explains why the articles of impeachment were filed against Rod Rosenstein.
We've sent a letter to the president, Mark, myself, and Congressman DeSantis saying, declassify the information, get us all the information.
What is he? Have you ever spoken to him about this? Why won't he declassify these?
We sent the letter several weeks ago, but the bottom line is we've sent numerous letters to Rod Rosenstein they haven't complied with. 2 subpoenas they haven't complied with. We've caught the Department of Justice hiding information, redacting information that they should not have redacted. We know that Rod Rosenstein threatened House Committee Intel staffers, threatened them, chilling impact when they were trying to do their job, our job of doing the constitutional oversight we're supposed to do. And we all know what the Justice Department did with the dossier. Never forget, Rod Rosenstein signed the 3rd renewal, signed that, which was based on the dossier, which we know parts of it came from Bruce Orr, high-ranking official, through his wife Nellie, the whole ordeal. So we're tired of the Justice Department giving us the finger and not giving us the information we're entitled to do our constitutional duty. More importantly, the American people are sick of it. That's why we filed the resolution.
Fantastic. So Raise your hand if you want this guy to be Speaker of the House. Raise your hand if you are suspicious that the reason why Paul Ryan is stepping down as Speaker of the House has nothing to do with him wanting to spend more time with his family and everything to do with the fact that the Democrats understand that they have no chance in heaven or down under to win 2020. And they think, well, you know what? If we can't win from the Democratic side, at least we can get in one of our lapdogs, Paul Ryan, as a possible win against Trump. Totally not going to happen, but I believe that that's what they are trying to do.
All right, a couple more Q posts. This is from
Pause
today.
Johnny, you must be new here. I was not making fun of the Chinese accent. I was making fun of the communist Chinese government. Because if you weren't new here, you would understand that we make fun of just about every accent under the sun. Doesn't matter if it's hillbilly hick, if it's just rather regular Northern Ohio or Canadian, we're going to be making fun of everybody. We could go to the UK. It don't matter, son. We're going to make fun of every accent. Why? Because it's fun. Ease up a little bit. I wouldn't be doing the Chinese accent if it wasn't enjoyable, which means it's kind of an ode to the fact that I like it. Not making fun of it. We make fun of the Irish, you know. It's a thing. It's a Resistance Chicks thing. Now, I definitely was pulling down making fun of the Chinese communistic government that's censoring Facebook. You can call me out on that, but I'm still right. Carry on with the Q posts.
All right, so he says Twitter near 20% slide, Facebook near 20% slide, all because of missed earnings. What does this Wall Street know? Are insiders dumping? DC moves slow. At Jack at Twitter and Mark Zuckerberg, your hands are dirty. Then he posts this, very interesting. Keep your promise. This is not a game. And then this is a picture of Lisa Page, I believe, here, and it almost looks like she's in the UK. When does a bird sing? In a cage. Why does it cage? So is she caged? I don't know. More warnings on the UK, and then there was some missile fired, and I think we're gonna stop there.
What?
Except for over here, he says there's nothing more precious than our children. Evil has no boundaries. And then it links to this Slayer. Evil has no boundaries. Lyrics is totally disgusting. The choice to know will ultimately be yours. These people are sick. And then to those who are courageous enough to speak out, we will stand with you. You're not alone in this fight. And this is supposed to link to the Ronan Farrow article, but I don't think it did. I think it got taken down. So I don't actually know. This guy is CBS. He's a big guy. Leslie Moonves. If you don't know who he is, that's fine. He's the CBS CEO. One of the most powerful men in Hollywood, is accused of unwanted kissing and touching in a New Yorker article set to be published Friday, today. The New Yorker is publishing this article by Ronan Farrow that includes allegations of sexual misconduct on the part of the embattled CBS chairman.
Fantastic.
The spokeswoman for the New Yorker says, we don't comment. And so all allegations of personal misconduct will be taken seriously, CBS says. And the guy's 68 years old. He's married to some chick. I don't know. So I don't know what's going down. Q is linking to it. I don't know. I guess her name is Elena Douglas. So she's I don't want to read about it. I'm just so done with these people, but still.
You know what? Here's the thing. It doesn't, each story at this point, it does matter because these people deserve justice and the perps deserve punishment. But the good news that I want you guys to focus on is the fact that it is being exposed. More people are coming out, and I believe that the Hollywood pedophile ring that is about to be brought down. What was the latest that we were talking about recently about the Hollywood pedophile ring that somebody had just exposed? We covered it.
The Dunn guy on Twitter, the guy, the Guardians of the Galaxy
Yeah,
guy.
that guy.
Yeah, that's kind of blown up. There's more guys.
Because he had all of those tweets where, you know what, joking about pedophilia is not a joke. Like, can't.
There's another guy. He does another thing. I don't know. I'm so out of it. I don't know who this kind of famous guy. If you follow me on Twitter, You can follow those stories because like Twitter is taking down pedophiles right and left.
Well, Twitter isn't. The people on Twitter.
Yeah, not Twitter, obviously. Speaking of pedophiles, the UK government is finally launching the ethnic origin study of child rape gangs after decades of abuse. So I wanted to put that out there. They're finally going to see who's doing what.
Better late than never.
I wanted to bring this out. In Canada, mentally ill Muslim is returned to community found not criminally responsible for stabbing 3 soldiers in Army Recruiting Center, saying Allah told me to do it.
Now, wait a minute. Weren't we just in Canada when we were talking about... So this must be the new thing, and I'm sorry,
Are
John.
all Muslims
all
like
of the
more
accents.
prone
I
to
got the
mentally
Canadian
ill?
accent. Hey, don't you know? It's just a thing, okay? So all the Canadians are coming out. No, that's Boston. See, then they just jumble together.
They're
But
the
all the
Canadians
Canadians are coming out saying these crimes are mental illness, which actually is true. They've got half of the argument there, but you can't just say, oh, they're just mentally disabled.
The mentally ill stabber A. I'm gonna try to get. I can do. Canadian.
You can do Canadian.
An Army Recruiting Center attack to be allowed into the community. It appears the last mentally ill lone wolf who went on a 2016 rampage in Toronto will be freed in no time. In a shocking decision, this Hassan Ali, a man with schizophrenia, found not criminally responsible for the attempted murder of 3 soldiers at the Canadian Forces Recruiting Center in New York, has already been cleared to leave the secure unit of his Hamilton hospital this year on passes into the community, including forays that aren't even directly supervised. This follows Ali's hearing before the Ontario Review Board earlier this month after court found him in NCR due to his mental disorder, but acquitted him on terrorism charges, and the federal crown is currently appealing that decision, still arguing that a lone wolf falls under the Canada's anti-terror laws. According to the recently released disposition, Ali has been ordered detained in the secure forensic unit at St. Joseph's Healthcare Hamilton for treatment and rehabilitation. Now, how does deprogramming from the religion that shall not be named work exactly, in Canada? How can you do that without being Islamophobic?
Right.
Allah did not tell you to stab the soldiers. Allah, he ain't real. Yo, your Allah ain't real. Eek. YouTube's gonna pull me. Atheists can say God's not real, the Christian God's not real, but as soon as you say Allah's not real, everybody's up in arms.
I know.
How is that a thing?
That's a really good question.
What's the science guy that everybody hates to loves to hate? Dawkins. Richard Dawkins can go around saying there's no God all day long.
Right.
I say there's no Allah. And suddenly they will pull my channel.
Which, so the question is, do they believe that Allah is real and that's why they're doing it because they're just so offended? Like, you can't say that. We know Allah is real.
So this guy, he's going to be indirectly supervised in his fast track to freedom. So glad there's freedom in Canada for terror-linked people.
Right.
So Trump went on a tweet storm after Michael Cohen directly... okay. So let me start over. I'm not going to read the title. I'm just going to tell you what happened. Michael Cohen, his previous lawyer, has flipped. There's some tapes, right? We told you... I don't know if I told you about these stupid tapes about him discussing maybe payments about, the porn star or whatever. Comes out, it's no big deal. It's literally nothing at all. However,
it's a nothing burger.
What is something is that these were privileged, and even Alan Dershowitz, a lefty liberal, says this is it's like a crime. Like, you're not allowed to give out privileged information. You're not allowed to leak it. It's like doctor-patient information. You can sue for that, right? So Trump comes out and says, arrived back in Washington last night from a very emotional reopening of a major U.S. steel plant. There's a guy crying, oh, Trump, thank you, right? In Granite City, Illinois, only to be greeted with the ridiculous news that the highly conflicted Robert Mueller and his gang of 13 angry Democrats obviously cannot find collusion. The only collusion with Russia was with the Democrats. So now they are looking at my tweets along with 53 million other people The rigged witch hunt continues. How stupid and unfair to our country. And so the fake news doesn't waste my time with dumb questions. No. I did not know the meeting with my son, Don Jr. Sounds to me like someone is trying to make up stories in order to get himself out of an unrelated jam. Taxi cabs, maybe? He even retained Bill and Crooked Hillary's lawyer. Gee, I wonder if they helped him make the choice. So Cohen said that Trump was aware of this meeting with this Bolin 7 Skyla chick, okay, who's actually pictured. Who's she pictured behind? I'm trying to get my story straight.
Well, I remember she's totally in on the, like, she is linked to
Glenn Simpson.
Well, no, not just.
She did have a meeting with Glenn Simpson before and after meeting with Donald Trump Jr.
But it's well known that she has Democratic sympathies and meets with these people. So, at best, or at worst, however you want to word it, Don Jr. was just stupid to meet with her.
Yeah, you know,
I think it was a plant. I think it was there. I think it was on purpose. I don't think she had anything that she was actually going to deliver.
So what's going on Twitter? Matt Gaetz, he was shadow banned. What would happen is Twitter has an autofill. So let me give you an example. When you start to, it's not there anymore, but it was there.
They they got rid of their autofill?
Well, what would happen was if you start to put in Representative Matt Gaetz, his little name wouldn't come up with the blue check mark.
Okay.
But now it is because they fixed it.
Good.
But it was coming up like a bunch of Breitbart article people, and people were being shadow banned. Like you could put your name in there in a little system, and people were definitely being shadow banned. So in the response to the growing outrage over the practice of shadow banning conservatives, just conservatives, as confirmed by the liberal publication Vice, and promptly tweeted out by the president, who said, you know, we're going to look into this. Twitter issued a strange explanation to set the record straight, where they explicitly state that they do not engage in this practice, except they describe exactly how they do it. Here we go. You ready?
We're ready.
People are asking us if we shadow ban. We do not. But let's start with, what is shadow banning? The best definition we found is this: deliberately making someone's content undiscoverable to everyone except the person who posted it, unbeknownst to the original poster. But then he goes on to say, we don't shadow ban. You are always able to see the tweets from accounts that you follow, although you may have to do more work to find them, like go directly to their profile. So what they're saying is we don't shadow ban so that like only that person can see the tweets. We just like might not put them out there, or you have to go to their profile to find them.
Right, because that doesn't qualify as undiscoverable. You actually can find their tweet if you go to their page, but we sure as heck ain't gonna put it on yours.
And we certainly don't shadow ban based on the political viewpoints of ideology. In other words, Twitter says they don't shadow ban. It's just that tweets from people you follow may never appear unless you click directly onto their timeline.
Right.
So this is remarkable from Twitter. Defines shadow banning, says they don't shadow ban, then says that for some accounts you have to go to visit them and see their tweets. Jack, you might need to take out the nose ring out and clean house. Twitter's own employees admitted to the practice in a January undercover expose with James O'Keefe. Are you ready for this?
We are ready.
Wait, you're gonna start over. So we're trying to get the SHITT people to not show up. It's a product thing we're working on.
Let's say it was a pro-Trump thing, and I am anti-Trump. I was like, I banned this whole account. I'll go to you, and then it's at your discretion. And if you're anti-Trump, you're like, oh, you know what, Mo was right. Let it go.
The idea of a shadow ban is that you ban someone, but they don't know they've been banned because they keep posting, but no one sees their content. So they just think that no one's engaging with their content, when in reality no one's seeing it. I don't know if Twitter does this anymore.
How do you know if it's a bot and not a normal person?
You use machine learning. You look for Trump or America, and you have like 5,000 like keywords to describe a redneck, and then you look and you like parse all the messages, all like the pictures, and then you look for like stuff that matches like that stuff. So
literally looks at the pictures you post, the messages you write. Yep. And if you have up to 5,000 of these redneck words, God, Bible, Christianity, Trump, illegal migration, any of that,
build the wall.
Is it going to essentially ban certain mindsets and or people who could be negative?
No, it's not going to ban the mindset. It's going to ban the way of talking.
Our last video exposed Twitter's eagerness to turn over President Trump's direct messages to the Justice Department. We think today's release will help you understand why. Because although Twitter presents itself as politically neutral, its culture behind closed doors is one of blatant censorship, systematic bias, and political targeting. While many suspected this was the case, today we present the proof.
This is unequivocal proof. I don't know why Congress hasn't sat down and done something just on this.
So, I don't know how much you're going to cover on Twitter and when you're going to switch to Alex Jones, because it all ties into the entire thing. I am very excited to tell you guys about Mike Adams' report that was hand-delivered to POTUS on Air Force One.
Again.
Tell them about that.
All right, so Mike Adams has he's from National News. Health Ranger. Sorry, I got it mixed up. Mike Adams for the Health Ranger, he has a 50-page report on the systematic bias and shutting down censorship of conservatives. That report made it into the hands of the President of the United States.
And it doesn't matter that it's super long. Trump appreciates things that are in-depth. I don't know if I shut this door.
Paul Joseph Watson helped get that out, too.
This is really exciting. Now, Trump has said that he's going to look into it. I mean, he literally came out and said, I'm going to look into this.
There's so much happening with InfoWars right now. And listen, guys, what happens to InfoWars happens to everybody else. They're the tip of the spear. They hit him first because he is the fall guy, even though everybody goes on Alex Jones.
Right.
Tony Schaefer goes on Alex Jones. Dr.
Nigel and Katie Hopkins have been on there.
Hopkins, Nigel, Rand Paul, Ron Paul.
Resistance chicks.
Everybody goes on Alex Jones.
Right.
And his personality is over the top, might not be your cup of tea, and that's fine. But still, the people that he interviews and the people that he has on everybody. And CNN lies about banned InfoWars videos in new censorship attempt. See the banned videos for yourself. Claims deleted YouTube videos endorse child endangerment when the opposite is true.
So do you want to read the article or do you want to just break it down?
Let's kind of go over a little bit.
Okay.
There was a video where some stupid kid was pushing up against an adult and he was punching him in the face.
He was being a brat.
He was being a brat, and it went viral like last week or a while ago on like other places. So somebody in InfoWars thought it might be funny because the guy pushes the kid down. He's fine. But somebody thought it would be funny in InfoWars to make a meme out of it and say how to respond to a liberal. And then other, like Forbes, said it was Alex Jones who pushed the kid down. And Alex Jones did the strike, but it wasn't Alex Jones.
Right.
And when is comedy comedy? Like, is a kid okay if he's acting like a brat? Now, the world was talking about it, right? And it was out there, but it wasn't like one of those things where it was child abuse.
Well, even if it had just been a strike that Alex Jones got because of this, is there something wrong with my hair?
No, it's like looking at your highlights and they're really nice.
They are going after. They're going to try to take Alex's kids away from him because of this legally. They have taken him to court because of a false accusation that he is the one that pushed this child down. We're not just talking about a strike on a YouTube account. This is real deal. When they can come and take your kids away. These are scary times that we live in on a false assumption.
Right. So, CNN says YouTube deletes 4 Alex Jones videos and gives him a strike. And it said hate speech directed towards Muslims, among other groups. One featured the headline, How to Prevent Liberalism, and showed an adult shoving a child to the ground. And the blog post InfoWars said YouTube claimed all 4 videos had violated the policy on violent or graphic content. Are you kidding me? It's absolutely insane.
So the punchline is, did you tell them that he's been pulled from Facebook?
I was getting to that. Facebook suspends Alex Jones for videos critical of liberalism and radical Islam. Facebook scheduled the event to promote a new Facebook Watch video feature earlier this week, but the situation turned ugly when the invited news reporters screamed about Facebook allowing Fox News and InfoWars on their platform. Ricky Van Veen, head of global creative strategy, and this other chick, director of product at Facebook, had combative exchanges with reporters at an event to promote Facebook Watch in Beverly Hills on Wednesday. This is not the first time liberal reporters have complained to Facebook about InfoWars having access to their social media platform. CNN has called on Facebook to ban InfoWars earlier this month, and left-wing activist Brennan Gilmore called on Facebook to eliminate InfoWars in a Washington Post screed in March. But the fact that the news reporters called on Facebook to ban Fox News from their platform is a new leap for the American left. If Democrats and their mainstream media want Fox News eliminated from Facebook, the largest and most successful news organization in America today, then it is safe to say the American left wants all conservative publishers banned from the social media platform. On Friday, Facebook finally appeased the liberal mob by suspending several Facebook pages tied to Alex Jones and InfoWars. This comes after months of pressure from liberal news reporters pushing Facebook to crack down on conservative news. Facebook suspended the conservative channel for posting videos that were critical of liberalism and radical Islam. Several Facebook pages tied to Alex Jones, including the official pages for InfoWars and Alex Jones himself, are close to being removed from the platform for violating its community standards multiple times, a Facebook spokesperson said. Pages operated by InfoWars still remain active, but they had not hit the undisclosed threshold violations. The Facebook spokesperson told CNBC that InfoWars pages are getting close to that threshold, but would not say specifically how many more infractions would be necessary to pull them. Jones's personal account was temporarily banned on Facebook Thursday for 30 days after it was found responsible for uploading 4 videos that went against community standards. The clips were posted on different pages operated by InfoWars and Alex Jones. Alex Jones had previously been warned he could be blocked by Facebook for other infractions. One of the removed videos shows a man shoving a child, how to prevent liberalism. These same 4 videos are also removed by YouTube, barred Alex Jones from live streaming for 90 days.
So, interestingly enough, we're covering Alex Jones. He is the one that we can see. He's the one that they are going after. But it is happening to everyone, everywhere, right, including us. I am sitting here and I am watching the watch numbers. I'm glad that you all are here. Please do not get me wrong. Lee and I were talking about this the other day.
Yeah.
We've got Mike Cernovich, who's like afraid for his life almost. I mean, the dude has to take ice cold showers to manage stress. Not even kidding. Because of all the lies and all the things that they make up about him. Because being in the limelight is really difficult. I ain't got time for that kind of stuff, Jack. Like, I literally do not. I'm glad that we have this small group. However, our grouping keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And as we are talking about shadow banning, I am watching our watch numbers drop. Okay? I'm not even kidding you. I don't think that that's a coincidence. I have been waiting on YouTube for weeks, actually months, but I re-brought it up again weeks ago to discuss the fact that our videos always say Mass Faith 3 is live now and it takes you to the Jordan Peterson video, so that when we go live,
it doesn't get put into the live videos. So we are
completely censored that way. Nothing I can do about it. I believe that they have watched our content and they have told this woman, Irish is her name that I'm dealing with. They always give you a name. I think it's totally a pseudonym or whatever. But they have told this woman, just string her along. I got another email the other day after like 2 weeks. Oh, just let you know, we're still working on this. We're still working on it. We're still working on it.
They're lying about it and laughing about it behind our backs.
They know our content. They don't want to put us out there. They're not putting this out there.
They don't, yeah.
I don't really know what else I can do, because I know that if I try to make a big stink about it and get other people involved, they will just come after us like they are Alex Jones. And so I don't mind just being able to get our information out to you guys, but I wanted to make you aware that for anybody that is questioning, is this real? Are they really shadow banning? Does it really matter? Does it really affect anybody? Absolutely. A channel like ours that has 11,000 subscribers goes live and gets 57 people to watch. A minute ago, it was like 45. Okay? Right. That's insane. That's insanity. Okay? I could take it personally and just think to myself, and this is what YouTube would have me thinking, maybe people just don't like you. I think we're pretty likable. I mean, I'm not trying to say anything, but I think we're pretty dang likable.
I know where we were last year.
Right.
I know where we were last summer.
Yeah.
I know that when we went live on Charlottesville,
yeah,
we had thousands of people watching us.
Right.
I know that video hit 160,000 in less than a day and a half.
And I hate to sound like Alex Jones where you start tooting your own horn and talk about your own problems, but this is legit. This is actually happening. These are facts. And if we don't keep talking about them,
I know
then we will
covered,
allow them to shove us under the bus.
Sutherland Springs, that video went viral.
Right.
And we just kept getting capped and putting down and down and down. But here's the thing. The more they try to push us down, the more other people pop up.
Yes.
And so it's all going to be okay. I mean, what we could do is start a whole new channel and get all new subscribers, and then Facebook or YouTube would know about us, blah, blah, blah. But you'd have to have another name that like Resistance Chicks was flagged right off. That's
I have another thing that I have out to YouTube that I'm trying to get solved, and that is the fact that a video that we covered last year that was totally in favor of the person posting the video, they had a copyright takedown on us. So we have a copyright strike on our channel, and it's supposed to be if you contest that copyright takedown of a video, because we were covering it under fair use, totally fine. If you contest that and they do not respond within 10 to 14 days, then the strike just falls off your account and the video gets put back up. It's a legal process. They have to like literally say, yes, I'm going to pursue this. This was my content. They stole it. I'm taking action here. And this person did not do that. And so I contacted YouTube and I said, hey, can we see what's going on here? Crickets. I have not gotten any response. YouTube is literally ignoring me.
Is it YouTube or Facebook?
YouTube. This is YouTube. Did I say Facebook?
Because Facebook did it too.
And Facebook did the exact same thing, but that was over another video. That was something else. So yeah, they have put all of their, you know that YouTube operates in the negative, right? Google funds YouTube now because of all the censorship. YouTube would be doing great with all the advertising that they would get from conservatives that pretty much run YouTube. But they are, like you said about Zuckerberg, shooting themselves in the foot just... So who is funding YouTube? Who is making sure that the right narrative gets put out? The globalists.
This is Robert Mueller. This is Donald Trump Jr. Is he following Donald Trump Jr.? Do they even know they're together? People posting this on Facebook or on Twitter. Just random. Even Q posted it. Coincidence? Mueller and Donald Trump Jr.
Okay, but would Mueller be that brazen? Like,
I don't know. It's pretty crazy.
Couldn't he have somebody follow Donald Trump Jr.?
Twitter stock drops 20% after blocking conservatives and then reporting a declining active users. First it was Facebook, now it's Twitter. This is a self-inflicted wound. A recent study by the leftist website Vice, we told you, was censoring top pro-lawmakers. Twitter is also censoring Paul Joseph Watson, the gateway pundits Jim Hoft. Listen, I can feel bad about myself, but the gateway pundit, I love them. Their traffic is down 93%. 93%. They were being shared all over the place. They were like number 4 out of like all conservative news during the election.
And that's the thing that I have to be thankful for.
Yeah, they have people who they got to feed their families.
I hope that this viewer doesn't mind that I'm bringing this up, but somebody contacted me who I've had communications with on email and stuff about possibly somebody's trying to sell them a YouTube account that has 40,000 subscribers, pulls in like 8,000. They say it's a friend, and she wanted to know if this was a scam and what I thought. And I said, A, get a lawyer involved. B, if you think that it's a scam, it probably is a scam. But one thing that I wanted to tell her is even if it, and I did tell her this, I said, even if it's not a scam, okay, and it could be that it's not a scam, I would still get a lawyer involved and make sure that it's not a scam. But YouTube is no guarantee. So this person is selling the YouTube channel, going to sell it for like $40,000. Well, it makes $8,000 a month.
Liar.
With advertising. And I told her, I said,
make the content.
Exactly. She was going to have to make the content, and he was going to show her and walk her through. That's not what I'm trying to get at here. You're being poo-poo about it. That's not the point that I'm trying to make.
Okay.
The point that I'm trying to make is, let's say they do make $8,000 a month. They have advertisers in addition to, we're gonna stop giving me that look. Let's operate for my point that this is real. It doesn't matter. You cannot base your life's income on YouTube because anything can happen in an instant, because we know channels that were supporting themselves with $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month. We know these people. We met them at the Red Pill Expo. They were making a living on YouTube, and all of a sudden it's gone in an instant, and they cannot make content anymore. They're having to get regular jobs because YouTube has stolen them out. And so I wouldn't do it on that premise alone, regardless of it being a scam, because there is nothing guaranteed on YouTube or Facebook or whatever. You are all at their discretion. And it's not like being an employee, right? Because so many people say, well, YouTube can do what they want, Facebook can do what they want, it's their whatever. But you're not their employee. There is some sort of contract there when you work for somebody and you are counting on that income. You know what I mean? Yeah, you could get fired, but there are a lot of things. We were just talking about this with a friend that a company has to go through. You have to prove that you are firing that person for a really legitimate reason, because you're taking away someone's livelihood when you do that. We don't have that kind of contract with YouTube.
YouTube has become the wild, wild west, and now they can just cut everybody's stream off.
You can take somebody's complete income out from underneath of them, their livelihood, with like that.
Speaking of income, you guys know that we believe the economy is just going to crash and that paper dollars are no good. However, whenever Donald Trump does something or something happens and it just messes with the heads of the globalists, that is when I bring it up. And under Trump, the gross domestic product has grown to 4.1% in the second quarter of 2018, compared to 2.8% in the second quarter of 2017. Meanwhile, CNN ran a headline in October 2016 claiming Donald Trump promises 4% growth, but economists say no way.
How about that?
So it's just a random thing. I'm throwing it out there, something because other people are talking about it. Here is the clip where Jim Jordan is going to
Yeah, you could be getting your shine on. You've just announced you sent a letter saying that you want to run for Speaker of the House.
Yes.
How did you come to this decision?
Well, think about it this way. In the last year and a half, under President Trump, regulations are down, taxes are down, the economy is up. We're going to get great numbers today. Unemployment's at its lowest in 20 years. Gorsuch is on the court. Kavanaugh is on deck. We're out of the crazy Iran deal. The embassy's in Jerusalem, and the hostages have come back from North Korea. An amazing year and a half.
The remains are coming back today.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm forgetting some other good things. So that's by anyone's definition, that's an amazing year and a half. But think about Congress. What has Congress done? We've certainly helped with the taxes, but all those other things that we told the American people we would accomplish, we haven't. Repeal Obamacare, reform welfare, build the border security wall, and fix our immigration system and control spending. We haven't done that. So I think this is real simple. I always say this. We make the job of being a member of Congress way too difficult. It's really basic. What did you tell the voters you were going to do? Let's do that. And we haven't done enough of that. We need to do more of that and help President Trump make America great again and do the things that we said.
Well,
yeah.
I love that man. You know he's from Ohio, right? He represents Ohio. Yeah.
All right.
We can be proud of that.
Just a couple more things I'm going to bring to you. I think I'm going to skip some things. But here's Trump here with the... being a veteran, this moment touched this person, our amazing president, and Alan Jones, 94 years old, World War II veteran, sharing the stage at the VFW in Missouri. And so let's just watch this moment.
I've been told that I could never enter the Oval Office in Washington, D.C. I'm going to be 95 years of age, April 11th of next year. Hopefully that you will allow me to bring my family into the Oval Office to meet you.
Can't say no to that one, can you?
No, not in front of everybody. Smart man. Got you right where I want you, Trump.
One last thing, Mr. President. I want to tell you, Mr. President, this group knows not to give the mic to Alan Q. Jones when he's at a state convention or the national convention. I asked you to autograph this picture personally because this was taken to you, with you, when you were running for elections as a president of the United States.
Thank you. Beautiful. Wow. Thank you. Let me have that. I had a good one here, Alan. That's so beautiful.
Oh my gosh. Just step.
Well, this is a president that will have you in the Oval Office, so all of my people back there, they're working it out already, okay? With honor. And we pay tribute not only to Alan, but to all of the heroes of the greatest generation.
So you had a pretty amazing evening for Trump there, and then he had with the steelworkers. There was a guy crying, giving Trump a hug. Now I have two. I wonder if I should. What time is it? 8 o'clock. We got to get moving. Okay. This Lauren Southern video is about the most craziest thing I've seen in a long time. I'm gonna show you this, but there's something else that's pretty crazy too. Spain.
Hang on, are you gonna show the thing with the thing? Because I don't know if I can watch that again.
What thing with the thing?
The pedophile park?
No.
We could tell him about it?
No, not now.
Okay.
Another time. Spain is struggling with 700 crazed dudes with just watch.
Hundreds of them made it across and have now been placed in increasingly overcrowded short-stay immigrant centers.
The southern region of Andalusia is most affected by the surge in recent migrant arrivals. The short-stay immigrant centers, known as CETI, are at full capacity, and new migrants have been forced to stay on the Coast Guard's vessels and in sports centers. Andalusia is now desperately asking other Spanish regions to share the burden. The regional president, Susana Diaz, also criticized the EU states, such as the members of the Visegrad Group, who refuse to take migrants arriving in southern Europe through EU relocation quotas.
It's evident that responsibility must be shared collectively by all Spanish regions. At the same time, we want to send a message to Brussels because things cannot remain in just words in relation to the countries that look the other way while leaving the responsibility to others.
The new socialist Spanish government decided in June to welcome NGO vessels with African migrants on board that had earlier been refused to dock in Italian ports by the new populist government in Rome. Since then, migrant arrivals in Spain have surged. More than 20,000 have been registered in 2018, and the country has now surpassed Italy and Greece as the country which receives the largest number of non-European illegal migrants. Another important symbolical decision was the government's announcement that it would dismantle the barbed wires and fences of its Spanish border in the North African exclave Ceuta. Today, 700 African migrants launched an attack on the border fence between Morocco and Spain in Ceuta. The police described the raid as the most massive and violent in recent time. Hundreds of illegal migrants managed to cross the border, and it's only a question of time before they will be transferred to mainland Spain, which will only magnify the migration crisis in Spain. The countries of Central Eastern Europe, and the Visegrad Group especially, argue that the situation in Southern Europe is unsustainable, and that the EU must adopt an Australian migration policy, turning migrant boats back to where they came from. Until such measures are taken, the situation will only continue to worsen and increasingly strain relations within the EU.
As I told Worth a Look in a Message, what delightful young men. I'm sure that all of you would love to have them over for tea. So that could probably be arranged. I have another video of these wonderful people coming in to.
You can close out the ones that you've already showcased, and then you'll have an easier time.
Yeah. I'm sorry that I don't put the links up that I really should put up.
You can. They're tweeted out if you're following on Twitter.
A lot of them are.
Then they're up there.
All right, here we go. Spain welcomes its new arrivals after the country's socialist government decides borders aren't important. Paul Joseph Watson says, "Good luck." They were throwing feces and fire bombs. 700. I'm sure they will make model citizens. We will again show this on Sunday for our UK you know how wonderful this is?
That's the I just made it into the country illegally.
If someone comes into
victory dance.
your home by throwing feces at it and setting it on fire, do you give them a room and say, oh, so grateful you breached the lock on my door. Now we'll come in and I will feed you and I'll clothe you and I'll let you stay here indefinitely.
As long as you got your foot in the door, then you officially belong and it is your place to be there.
I believe that.
So what's with the Lauren Southern video?
Okay. Lauren is in Australia with Stefan Molyneux. And she went to a no-go zone area.
In Australia.
This is Australia, by the way. This is not the Middle East. This isn't even the UK. Now, I have no words.
Australia is the place with the pedo park, too.
Yeah.
Okay, just from Campsie Police.
Yep.
I've been informed that you're intending to attending the Lakemba Mosque. Is that correct?
I actually have no intentions of attending. I was just planning on walking through the streets and seeing how the culture was here.
Yes?
Yeah.
Are you satisfied with that?
Yep.
So, where do you intend on walking to now?
I was just going to walk out and check how the mosque was.
Check where the mosque was?
Yep. Would I not be allowed to attend if I wanted to?
I've got grave concerns that you may cause an imminent breach of the peace down there, so I'm asking you not to attend.
Why would I cause a breach of the peace?
Because it's highly religious down there.
So would it be me causing a breach of the peace, or would it be the people there?
Well, your presence may cause them to be offensive and be
If you don't wear a hijab, you might incite someone to rape you. So you probably should wear the hijab because it will be your fault if they rape you.
Right.
So if you walk past a mosque, it's your fault because you're going to breach the peace. I always thought that if the person breaching the peace was the one making the ruckus.
Right.
Objective to your attending there.
And so that would be them being offended by me.
Can you not interview me? The local community walk around here without any fear. I walk around here without any fear.
Right, but I'm a critic of Islam.
Yes.
So I can't be in this multicultural because my culture is allowed to have free speech and criticize Islam.
I understand you have your own beliefs and you're allowed to have your own beliefs. I have no issue with that. I'm asking you not to attend down there because I have a fear that you may cause an imminent breach of the peace.
You might.
In doing so.
So what he really believes is that all of a sudden, Lauren Southern is going to bring out like Tommy guns and start shooting everyone up.
Right.
You may commit an offence.
Am I allowed to walk through the area?
I'm asking you not to go down the Howden Street.
Hey mate, this is Australia. You don't have any no-go zones in Australia. This is Australia. You get to walk down a street in Australia. They're very liberal, open people. They have nude, stinking beaches where people walk topless.
Now, I could understand if she was going to walk down and take a walkabout out in the bush and they were afraid for her safety. That's really messing with... I really had it for a second.
You did.
I really did. But she's not going out for a walk in the bush. And even if she was going to take a walk out in the bush and an alligator was going to come and get her...
She can legally do that.
She can do that. And he's not really even talking about her safety here?
No.
He said, you might commit an offense.
You might commit offense.
Carry on.
You're asking me, but do I have the legal right to walk down this area?
At this point in time, no.
I know you're walking away, but I would like to do some interviews. Would I be allowed to do interviews?
No, you're not welcome in there.
No, I'm not. No, just to do interviews on the street. Am I allowed to?
No.
Why not?
Because I'm asking you not to.
Would I be allowed to, okay, no cameras, nothing. Would I be allowed to talk to people and criticize Islam?
No.
Why?
Because I'm telling you, no, you're committing an offence. Why do you need to do it here?
Because this is a highly Islamic area.
What questions do you intend asking?
Could I not talk to people and criticize Islam?
Why do you want to... I don't. Why do you want to criticise Islam?
Why would you want to criticize Islam? Dude, every day people walk around criticizing Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't no thing. Like,
right.
You go to public school and they criticize Christianity.
True.
The government pays
if you're inside, I have fear that you're going to cause a breach of the peace.
No, you have fear people will be offended by me.
No, yeah.
Yes, thank you.
And you're committing a breach of the peace. I've given you that warning. And if you do that, you may be breaking the law. Do you understand that?
I understand it. I perfectly understand.
My blood boiled. I had to calm myself down.
Wow.
And it would be easy for me just to ignore this. Because that would be easier on my brain. Right? To pretend like this just didn't happen. But it happened. And it happened in Australia. I'm going to play this again on Sunday. I need y'all to know what's going down in Down Under.
Can we tell them about the Peter Park on Sunday?
I can't show that.
They didn't say show it.
I don't know. Let's go to the mail call. I'm done.
Okay.
I am so done.
Let's start with, this didn't actually come with, so we open the stuff before we show it to you guys, because you never know what's coming. And we've experienced that live. However, this is from Dale from Philadelphia. Dale sent these shirts that are absolutely fantastic. It says roses are red, violets are blue. Number of genders is only 2. And then it has this beautiful Leave It to Beaver type couple on and there's 2 of these shirts. So
thank you, Dale. We will wear those proudly.
Thank you, Dale. I actually was a little bit concerned about this going into public. I don't know what kind of looks I'll get. Like, okay, so I've been visiting Grandma Marilyn in the hospital. So my mental picture was, if I wear this in the hospital, like, what if there's some nurses? So I don't know. I think I'm going to have to just choose the place that I wear it wisely. That being said, thank you, Dale. This is fantastic. I laughed out loud.
It's
a conversation starter.
A weapon, almost, isn't it?
A little bit.
It's kind of a weapon.
Raise your hand if you like these shirts. Earlier, Kelly, you had asked if we could get Steven one of the 1776 United shirts. I don't have to get it for you. You can. It's literally 1776united.com, I think. And I will put a link to the website in our description so that you guys can go there and support them yourselves. You got a sale.
Yeah.
When you got it. Now, do you want to go ahead and do this?
The jewelry?
We'll go ahead and do that.
I will not read this in a British accent, although it came Royal Mail. Very interestingly, an American was in the UK, and she wanted to have this stamp on there for the Meghan Markle's
wedding.
I've been doing a lot of talking. Why don't you read it?
All right. Dear Lee and Michelle, I love your show. Thanks for your insightful commentary on national/global events and efforts to save Western civilization. Unfortunately, this letter will be written in haste as I wanted to send it off before I leave the UK in order to make use of the Harry and Meghan stamp. My departure coincides with President Trump's arrival, but I won't regret missing the protests in London. I think the visit will go largely unnoticed in the rest of the country, and I have not sensed any particular anti-Americanism. Indeed, I've talked with several Brits who are at least sympathetic to Trump, and one said that Lord Mayor Khan does not speak for all of Britain. There's much more I'd like to explain about my personal journey as a Europhile who was educated in pro-EU studies and has deep connections to Europe, but suffice it to say that the corruption of the system has led to the populist revolutions in Europe and the US. I cheered, actually burst out in laughter and tears, on the mornings after the Brexit vote and Trump's election, but what's that?
Quo vadis.
Thank you. For the Latin.
Quo vadis.
For the pushback against bureaucrats, technocrats, and globalists, ? I am largely pessimistic in the short term, but have the ultimate Christian hope. And even if the Muslim demographic advance resulted in near complete visible destruction of Christian civilization, it would still survive and the truth prevail. I recently heard of Ron Dreher's Benedictine option for a future scenario in which secularism and hostile religions drive Christians to secluded communities, e.g., how the Irish saved civilization. But perhaps the gathering darkness is a precursor to revival. While I am not in a position to be a YouTube sensation or other public forum, I engage regularly with people I meet on everything from tech surveillance to Trump populist pushback to vaccines. Well done. It's my stealth contribution, by the way. Please look into the inspiring work of Doctors Suzanne Humphreys and Sherry Tenpenny and Polly Tommy, all of whom are Christians. On a final note, I very much appreciated your concise rendering of John Locke's theory on government. I'd
recommend.
It's over a bump there. Recommend to you and your listeners Kevin Phelps' The Cousins Wars and Amanda Foreman's A World on Fire, Britain's crucial role in the American Civil War. Think of these as lessons in U.S. history we didn't get in public school. As for vocabulary enhancement, some of my personal favorites are preclude / obviate, hoi polloi, and desultory. I learned frenetic from Lionel. Love his show too. So does Patriot Gallery. You're in good company. It all comes down to reading more expansively or picking lists of GRE prep words. Blessings to you both in your public work and personal journeys. Anonymous American in Europe. Incidentally, and that's the asterisk there. I was talking to random Brits in Krakow, Poland at the time of Tommy's arrest. So thank you very much, Anonymous American in
It looks
Europe.
like a female handwriting, but it could very well be a male.
Yeah, this is actually beautiful, beautiful handwriting. I love handwriting like this. So thank you for that insight into
That was a great letter.
An American's view of Europe and the UK and what's going on there. I think is really important because as Americans just stuck here in old America, we don't really have an understanding of this way somebody can explain it through an American filter, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. So thank you for that. Then next, hello to all of you. I have missed everyone's birthdays, but consider this gift as a thank you for your time and music. My daughter, Krista, hand makes jewelry. She buys some rocks, but hunts out others in the Badlands of southern Alberta. She cuts big rocks into slabs and then grinds out the shapes she wants and then polishes the stones. I am so proud of her, my heart is bursting. Hold the black stones up to the light to capture their hidden beauty. Please pick out one that appeals to you. Your sister in Christ, about to be grandma in Christ, Janice. I try to never miss a show. Sparkle in Stone Artisan Jewelry, Krista Popow, Lacombe, Alberta, Canada. My cat, Mr. Bossy Pants, is jealous of you and once up on my lap when your chats are on. It's like a real family. Someone is usually unhappy. Thank you for your time, Janice. Enjoy.
That has a nice flip to it.
Janice, I cannot tell you how touched we are that you would send your daughter's beautiful, beautiful handiwork to us. It's stunning, really. Absolutely stunning. I'm going to see if I can do this without breaking it with my hair.
This one's really pretty. So thank you, Janice. Thank you, Janice's daughter.
Did you try to hold that up to the light on the camera? I mean, I don't even know.
But I don't think it was
because I can see it holding it up to the light, but I don't know if you guys can. These are two absolutely beautiful brooches. Did you get them all?
Mm-hmm.
That she pinned them to these really adorable
this one too.
Bags. And also, not only thank you to Janice, but thank you to Krista. And I will see.
These are really neat. It's a magnet.
If I can't get a hold of Janice. Oh, really? Mm-hmm. That's really neat. If I can't get a hold of Janice to see if you guys want to make a purchase, we always say, you can't really support us monetarily. We don't have a Patreon or anything like that. But if you want to support the people that we support, that that we appreciate, that appreciate us, kind of be part of the Resistance Chicks family, then you can do that.
Do you want to save Horatio's book for Sunday?
No.
Okay. He's not here though. He'll be here on Sunday.
But still, it's the mail call. You want to wait?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Horatio sent a book today. Surprise. And I told him we were going to do a mail call, and he was like thinking that we were doing it just for him. And so he sends me a message. Hang on. Let's see. Quote, "We've had no mail this month, but hey, there's a book." No, we literally were doing a mail call today. So I guess we will just save Horatio's, because I was reading it, and I'm not going to tell you what it is. I was reading the introduction today, and one of the punchlines of the card is like, "I know that you'll never have time to read this." He sent it to me. "I know that you'll never have time to read this, but your mom and Leah might find it." I take offense. What, you don't think I read? I read. I do. I read really well, and I like reading. I don't even have time to sleep right now. But I did have time to read the introduction to that book while I was eating today, drinking a shake. And it's awesome. I'm super excited. I'm actually going to read you guys an entire page out of that introduction that you will find fascinating.
Tell you these came from Alberta, Canada? I always like to know.
So here we are with the Canadians, It's so beautiful. It's really soft. I can't even tell you.
Thank you so much. They're awesome.
So I want to thank all of the moderators who were here today. It seems like everybody was here, but worth a look. Kelly, Britt Baza, Rosa Sharon, Gary, Maia, Donna Terry, Patriot Gallery. If I'm missing somebody, forgive me. Kelly, did I say that? Oh, speaking of Kelly, Chris and Kelly are going to be going live. I think this is going to be a regular thing, but I'm going to plug it anyway. 9 p.m. tonight. So if you can't get enough Resistance Chicks, go to Chris Holman's channel, and they're going to be covering the downfall of California, from what I understand. He was going to try to use the new software that we kind of went through last night, but he told me today that there's too many issues, so we'll have to go back to the drawing board on that, and I'll help him get through it. But for tonight, they're going to go live with the Google Hangouts on YouTube, like they always do, and it's usually a really fun chat. So I think you guys will enjoy that. So do that in less than an hour. It's 8:22 now. Come back, take a break, go get some food, whatever you got to do is the little intermission, and go to Chris Holman's channel. So remember, it's not just a conspiracy theory.
If it's the truth.
Like, comment, and subscribe to both of our channels. Somebody asked me yesterday, like, do you have a backup channel? Because all these channels are getting shut down. And then what are you going to do? I'm like, I think it was Dale Jones. Dale, I don't know if you're here today, but yes, we have a backup channel. It is Resistance Chicks. We put all of our videos there. So Maia just put a link to Chris Holman's channel. Go ahead and click on that, open it up into a new tab, and then just sit there anxiously and await. We will be back on Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our regular European and UK news, and we will do Horatio's mail call. Right? All right. We love you guys. God loves you. God bless.
Thank you for being here, guys.
Wonderful. Yeah. Because these are diehard fans.
You are the Resistance.
Because you have to actually come specifically when we ask you to at Fridays. Or on Fridays and on Sundays.
Thank you for being here.
So, yeah, real deal. All right. Good night, guys.
I was called